Now at 10, we'll take you to the Ottawa County Dog Show and meet one of the competitors. Plus, comic book fans in the 4 states gather at the Spiva Center for the Arts to share their love of fandom culture. And heavy rain is impacting travel in parts of Missouri. We'll hear from some of the residents impacted.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 people were injured after a crash near Seneca, Missouri last night. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Noe. It happened just after 11 p.m. last night at the intersection of State Highway U and State Line Road. Authorities say a car failed to yield to an SUV, T-boned it, and caused it to overturn. 2 people in the SUV were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one in the car was hurt. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at weather.
All right, thank you very much, Elise. We had quite a bit of thunderstorm activity last night and this morning. In fact, we had a heavy swath of rain going from southern parts of Wilson County across northeastern Labette and then right down through central Cherokee County, producing several inches of rain in a very short period of time. And we have another round of rain developing tonight. You can see some storms already developing near Chanute, but the bigger storms are out towards the west. In fact, a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 3 a.m. for just west of our area. You see, as we go through the forecast tonight, we're going to see temperatures dropping through the 70s to about 69 degrees with a good chance of rain after about 2 a.m. And looking down the lane, we have the strong storms tonight, a cooler Monday, a mild Tuesday with more storms on Wednesday, producing more rainfall. And of course, at least we don't need the flooding, but we certainly need the rainfall.
Absolutely. Well, heavy rainfall is causing some roads to become impassable in parts of Missouri. Some locations have received more than 5 inches of rain since yesterday. Nikki Clark talked to some of the residents and has that story.
It's crazy.
Derek Newsom says his street doesn't usually see this much traffic, but with the flooding on surrounding streets, drivers need a detour. In his 5 years living here, he's seen this park flood before.
It's probably like the 3rd time, but not this bad. Yeah, this is the worst I've seen it.
Here's a look at the water covering the complex in Sykeston.
You can't see anything, so you can notice a pond back there where people normally go fishing, and you can't see any of that. There's a track right there. All you can see is that little portion of it right there.
A little more than 4 miles away, more flooding in a construction zone.
The water rose. The cones that were there were not very heavy, so they basically floated away and weren't able to mark the area that was under construction.
Captain John Broom says drivers just saw water, but the construction crews had removed part of the road.
Vehicles leaving Love's truck stop are actually driving off into that drop-off and causing some pretty significant damage to their vehicles.
Tires floated in the water from trucks that didn't quite make it, while other semis parked nearby waiting to get some help. But the damage didn't stop at vehicles.
Well, first I noticed that my garage was leaking, and it had tore some of my garage up on the inside.
And even though he'll have to pay to get his garage repaired, Newsom is choosing to look at the bright side.
A month and a half ago they were needing rain, so now they got it.
Competitors from around the 4 states and even some from further away gathered at the Frisco Trail in Joplin to compete in the Eliminator Run. Competitors run 3 miles every 45 minutes until they are unable to continue. While many do it to either stay in shape or to help train themselves, some have a deeper reason for pushing their body to the limit.
Everybody has their own reason. Everybody has their own reason why they do it. Some do it because they want to stay healthy. Some want to do it because they want to get healthier for their children that they're raising. And some want to do it because others can't. A lot of it do it for the mental aspect of it. I know when I'm having a bad day or a hard day at work, a good 3-4 mile run to go out there and just clear my mind helps.
Those who were able to finish today's competition ran up to 36 miles. The Mizra Shriners in Pittsburgh put together an event to help support their organization. With a $20 donation, you were able to come in and participate in multiple mini games for a chance to win one of the over 100 prizes offered.
The thing I like about the Shrine is that we do a lot of things with our family. We are family oriented. We do things with our wives. We have dances. We have these events. We have a lot of fun. And that's the main thing, is having fun. But while we're having fun, we'll also help children too.
The Shriners organization is involved in many medical centers in the area and seeks to provide help to those in need. The Joplin Pop Culture Convention, or JOMOCon, took place today at the Spiva Center for the Arts. The convention is a way for local fans of gaming, anime, comics, and much more to come together. The event also welcomes local artists and to show their talents and to be a part of all the fun.
I first thank you to Spiva and Connect Culture. They're letting us use this building. It's an amazing building. You know, there's not a lot of places in Joplin that can host something like this, and this is one of the places that can. It's great. We have a lot of big supporters, like there's Full Bore Studios. You know, like it's a tech company that's unique to Joplin, and they've supported us for a long time. Arvis is a big supporter, and just the Joplin community, man. We got just so much support has come for events like this.
The event also raised money through ticket sales for the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri. Kids in Miami got the chance to show off their skills as trainers as they competed in the Ottawa County Fair Dog Show. Competitors from ages 7 to 18 showed off their skills and the training of their pups in events like Showcase, Obedience, and Agility. 18-year-old Alexis and her poodle Mocha are breaking in their first year competing with each other.
Have a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot. Like, it took me a long time to get to like the point where I'm at today. So have a lot of patience and like don't be afraid to like do some of the activities with the dogs just to make them feel comfortable.
Mocha and Alexis competed in all 3 events. Alexis looks forward to working with Mocha for years to come. Coming up, former President Donald Trump continues on the campaign trail following his arraignment earlier this week. Plus, why the U.S. is pausing foreign assistance programs for Niger. We'll have the details. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s past comments against vaccines are at the center of a new lawsuit. The Democrat presidential hopeful filed suit against YouTube and its parent company Google. He says they are engaged in a censorship campaign in conjunction with the Biden administration. The platform has removed videos of a speech in which he questioned the safety of vaccines. Kennedy also cites the removal of multiple interviews he's done with popular right-leaning media personalities. Former President Trump is out on the trail this weekend following his arraignment earlier this week on charges related to January 6th. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides has the latest from Trump and other GOP challengers.
Soon after his 3rd indictment, former President Donald Trump took to social media, writing, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." That post included in a new filing by special counsel Jack Smith asking for a protective order barring Trump and his attorneys from disclosing any of the materials they received during the discovery process in the January 6th case so as not to intimidate witnesses. Out on the trail, Mr. Trump has called the many cases against him political persecution.
Biden and his protectors know he cannot win this race any other way.
A recent CBS News poll showed 76% of likely GOP primary voters believe the indictments are politically motivated. Vice President Mike Pence and GOP presidential rival said he has no plans to testify in the D.C. case, but if asked,
We'll obey the law, we'll respond to the call of the law if it comes, and we'll just tell the truth.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did for the first time dismiss Trump's election theories as false.
It was not an election that was conducted the way I think we want to, but that's different than saying like Maduro stole votes or something like that. And I think those theories, proved to be unsubstantiated.
Mr. Trump's schedule could get complicated. On Thursday, he's got a hearing in Florida, and a trial date will be recommended for D.C. Then the debate on the 23rd, followed by the first pretrial conference in the D.C. case on the 28th. Not to mention, all eyes are on Georgia, where a 4th indictment against Trump could come in the next 2 weeks. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
In a statement about that social media post, Trump's team defended it, calling it political speech. They have until Monday to formally respond. The U.S. is pausing certain foreign assistance programs for Niger amid the military takeover in the West African country. Secretary of State Antony Blinken made the announcement Friday. Blinken said life-saving humanitarian and food assistance will continue, and they are continuing U.S. government activities in Niger when possible, including diplomatic and security operations to protect U.S. personnel. Blinken said U.S. assistance to Niger's government depends on democratic governance and respect for constitutional order. A little later, how Missouri Governor Mike Parson plans to ensure safety around unmarked railroad crossings.
And we're tracking the risk of severe weather tonight with another round of heavy rainfall. I'll tell you all about it in your forecast when we come back. Well, after this week's 100-plus temperature days, it was certainly welcome news to see the rainfall this morning and cooler temperatures. In fact, let's take a look at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort this morning. As we go through the day, you can see pavement wet this morning with those scattered showers and storms. Then the sun came out this afternoon, and it turned out to be a very pleasant day and evening and a beautiful sunset with just a few high and mid-level clouds out there. And right now we're looking at a high in Joplin of 86 degrees. That's all we could do, which I don't think anyone's going to complain about, which was 5 degrees below the normals. We were right on target for the low though. And look at there, we're actually ahead on the rainfall for the month in a long, long time. But unfortunately, we're still way behind for the year by about 10 inches. We do have storms on radar right now. They're mainly up towards the north and west in southeastern Kansas. You can see a few lightning bolts occurring with that. Let's zoom in on that activity and show you what's going on. This is just to the east of Yates Center now, approaching Iola, also extending on over towards to the area just north of Girard, south of Fort Scott, and also a few showers out near Howard. But this is all just the first round of yet another round of storms developing back to the north and west. Lots of lightning and severe weather there. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of Kansas, getting very close to us until about 3 a.m. in the morning. Would not be surprised to see this watch expanded further to the south and east as we go into the overnight hours. But right now, temperatures are very pleasant and things are calm with around 72 degrees in Monette, 75 in Pittsburgh, and 78 for our friends up in Fort Scott. Rain chances tonight, yep, they're there, pretty much on the high side as we go into the overnight and early morning hours, and then tapering off as we go through the day tomorrow. But we certainly need the rainfall. In fact, some areas could pick up over an inch or so. The best chance of that is going to be down in Oklahoma, where there's a little bit more instability, so we could see higher amounts down to the south and lighter amounts as you go further towards the north. Unfortunately, there is a risk of severe weather as well, and you can see that also mainly is going to be impacting Oklahoma, but all of our area has a risk of severe weather tonight with all modes possible, but the biggest threats are going to be high winds and heavy rainfall in the overnight hours. Here's tonight's storm. That's going to move away, and then as we go through the next couple of days, pretty nice, and then here comes yet another storm system dropping down in the flow on Wednesday, and then that system will move away, and we have yet another system to drop down towards the weekend. So at least we have several chances of rain, including tonight with around 2 a.m. storms moving across our area. And then as we go into 4 a.m. still in our region with temperatures in the 70s. And then by 7 a.m. most of the rain will start to move away from us with temperatures around 70 degrees. Then tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. And then as we go into Sunday night and Monday morning, nice and cool with lows in the mid 60s, northwesterly winds and lower dew points. It's going to be great. And then Monday looks even fantastic with highs in the mid 80s for highs. That's in early August, folks. We can't really complain about that. And then Tuesday morning, lows in the 60s. Over the next 7 days, we have 90 tomorrow with a chance of thunderstorms, obviously, tonight and tomorrow morning. Drier Monday and Tuesday. Next round of storms on Wednesday, and yet another round on Saturday and Sunday of next week. But Elise, look at there. No 100s anywhere on that forecast.
No 100s.
No
Can you
100s.
believe it? Especially after last week, but we sure need the rain.
Oh, that's right. Uh-huh.
Well, when severe weather strikes, you'll want to stay informed. Yes. You can do that by scanning this QR code. It will take you to the KOAM News Now YouTube page, where our weather team will live stream during severe weather events to give you updated information. While you're there, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Joined by state and federal transportation safety officials, Governor Mike Parson unveiled a plan to spend $50 million on a safety project surrounding unmarked, non-signaled, so-called passive rail crossings in Missouri. The announcement comes just over a year after the fatal Amtrak dump collision near Mendon, Missouri. Kermit Miller reports.
Within the first hours after the Amtrak train from Kansas City to Chicago collided with a dump truck driven by 54-year-old Brookfield resident Billy Barton, killing Barton and 3 train passengers and injuring 150 others, local people were telling anyone who would listen that the crossing in Sheraton County was an accident waiting to happen.
I've heard that they run about 85 trains a day through here. Most of them anywhere from 50 to 70 miles per hour. Our Amtrak will go 75 to 100 through here.
But a report from the NTSB says it wasn't the train that caused this accident, or even specifically the truck driver. It was a crossing with a grade 13 times the maximum slope allowed by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, with an angle at the intersection 30 degrees sharper than the AASHTO guideline, and with a directive for traffic to wait at the bottom of the slope 152 feet from the rails.
It was a poorly designed crossing. We saw that immediately when we were on scene.
Homendy joined Governor Mike Parson and others to announce the commitment to address 47 passive railroad crossings in Missouri, crossings on the lines that carry passenger trains, with upgrades that include signs, flashing lights, drop arms, and potentially road rebuilds.
All of these 47 passive crossings are on roads owned by local county or city governments.
And that raises a political flag, primarily because the plan recommends eliminating 17 of those 47 crossings, including the one at Mendon, which has been closed since the accident. For a lot of local people, those crossings are the only convenient way to get farm goods to market and people to jobs or shopping.
And we got to work with the local communities to say, hey, maybe this crossing doesn't need to be here.
Political disputes, maybe even court cases, could delay the effort. But McKenna proposes to begin the work immediately, completing as much as possible in 1 year. Communities that raise no objections will go to the front of the line. And then there are the rail companies affected.
They have to schedule time to make these improvements. They have to shut down their commerce to do that. That's a big imposition for them.
Still ahead, Pittsburgh American Legion baseball team competes at regionals this weekend. And new members are welcomed into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Brock Baldridge will break down the details next in sports.
The American Legion Post-64 Patriots are in Pelham, Alabama this week for the Mid-South Regionals. Now, Pittsburgh has to make it to the semifinals, and they've done that. Now they have a win in order to move on to the championship game. Fortunately for Pittsburgh, today was not their day. The Post-64 Patriots lose to the defending American Legion champions of Troy, Alabama. Troy beats Pittsburgh 16-1. Move on to the championship game. However, Pittsburgh put up a great showing all week by going 2-2 in one of the biggest American Legion baseball tournaments in the country. The Kansas City Chiefs continue training camp in St. Joe. The team will get Sunday off as they prepare for their first preseason game next weekend in New Orleans.
Listen, it was good work today. Today was a red zone day, a little bit shorter field, but the guys kept the intensity level up. I thought they did a nice job of competing.
Yeah, we're not going to fail catch. Not in preseason. You know, if they kick the ball to us and we can get our hands on it, we want to return it. We want to find out what we have. We got to find out who can block, you know, and who can return.
We're going against the best offense in the NFL every day in and day out. We're getting their best shot. We're giving them our best shot. Me getting them have man coverage against Kelsey every day. I mean, shoot, I feel like the game should be easy, you know, going against a Hall of Famer like that. So it's a lot of fun.
And something that no one thought would be said this year is that the Kansas City Royals are the hottest team in baseball right now, winning their last 7 games. The Cardinals, on the other hand, still are stuck in a slump. The Royals are out in Philadelphia tonight. And the City of brotherly love. They look to make it 8 straight wins, but all good things must come to an end as the Phillies snap the Royals' 7-game win streak after Philly beats Kansas City 9-6. However, Freddie Fermin went 2 for 4 with 2 solo home runs and a pair of RBIs. St. Louis Cardinals are at home tonight against the Colorado Rockies. The Cards lost the series opener last night, and they're now 3-7 in their last 10. Well, tonight, the pitching was much better, and that bats heated up a little bit. This one just finishing up, and the Cardinals win it 6-2 over the Rockies. Tommy Edman had a good night, going 3 for 5 with a double and a pair of RBIs. The NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame takes place today in Canton, Ohio. This year's Hall of Fame class includes Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, Ken Riley, and Don Coryell. Those names will forever be enshrined in pro football history. Next year's Hall of Fame eligible class includes a couple of guys that Chiefs fans may recognize, players like Jamal Charles, Eric Berry. So who knows, we may see those names in Canton one day soon. That'll be it, sports. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
A new study ranked the best and worst states to retire, and some of the results may surprise you. Bankrate looked at 5 categories across all 50 states: affordability, overall well-being, the cost and quality of health care, weather, and crime. Last year, Florida ranked number 1, but the state that came out on top for 2023, Iowa. The other states that round out the top 5 places to retire are all in the Midwest and South: Delaware, West Virginia, Missouri, and Mississippi. How about that? Missouri.
Retire to Iowa with those winners. I don't know if that's an accurate.
I was surprised by that.
We're going to be watching the weather, of course, tonight. Storms tonight, looking pretty good for the rest of this week with temperatures near normal.
Well, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.